My dear Delilah, if you remember in my previous letter to you, I predicted it would not be long before I defeated the King of Slime, aka the Slime King. And indeed, my dear Delilah, it appears that my clairvoyant ability to foretell the future is about as incredible as that of the amazing Griswell. You see, my dear Delilah, almost exactly not long after, the King of Slime found himself slewn, or slain. I'm still not sure of which one is correct. It was, my dear Delilah, admittedly a bittersweet victory, for in his defeat the Slime King failed to either tell me how to get out of this strange dimension, nor where I can find you. Also, when the Slime King exploded into 1,000 gory bits, so too did the gentleman within him, so, hopefully he wasn't innocent. During my long-running career as a projectionist working in the theatre, I watched, or rather screened, quite a few film noir movies. And so, my dear Delilah, as you well know that I know well, I'm well aware of the next steps to take when running an investigation. Namely, if your main lead ends up dead by your hands, quickly use black magic to summon another lead and immediately begin interrogating him. However, unfortunately, my dear Delilah, this next head honcho demon appears to be hard of hearing, for I cannot just call him from anywhere, but instead need to be closer to his abode. And so, like Brad Pitt to Eric Banner at the gates of Troy, I entered the land of purple and demanded the pathetic worm whom presides over it come out and face me. To my surprise, the pathetic worm turned out to be, rather quite literally, an actual pathetic demonic worm. This creature was, admittedly, slightly more frightening than the Slime King, for much like slimes for the Slime King, I'm not sure I've actually ever been killed by a worm. I might well have, I've been killed by a great many things, but nothing really stands out, my dear Delilah. I did at one point die by being crushed by a boulder while fleeing such worms. And so, my dear Delilah, while not directly responsible for my death, it is still intrinsically linked, and therefore I'm not exactly the biggest fan of worms. And considering that this worm is the biggest worm of all the worms that I'm not a big fan of, I like this one the least. Also, not to go off on too much of a tangent, but back then, during the Boulder Worm incident, I had a gerbil hamster companion who, among his friends, went by the name of Renfield. I'm not sure what eventually happened to poor Renfield, but this horrific memory of my nightmare encounter with a large worm made me sort of nostalgic, and so therefore I've decided that in memory of Renfield, I shall call my new companion, the bee, Renfield 2, as in Renfield also, not Renfield the Second. But I digress. To take us back to the present, the battle with the large worm went on and on like a best man speech at a wedding that you only attended because they had an open bar. Mr. Big Scary Demonic Worm Beast was, in this battle, at a significant disadvantage. You see, his pretty much only method of attacking, and indeed moving, was to move his entire body really slowly in one direction. Which means, once he had gone in that direction, if I simply stepped out of the way, I could then use my giant sword to inflict upon him large amounts of damage and indeed chop him into lots of little pieces. And rather fortunately, my dear Delilah, kindergarten rumors about worms having Hydra-like abilities turned out to be entirely false. Chopping a worm in half does not actually create two worms, but instead one dead worm in two pieces. And so, as the dust of the battle settled, and I waded through head-high compartmentalized corpse pieces of the now dead worm demon king of the land of purple, I found myself pondering of what comes next. Fortunately, my dear Delilah, I needed not ponder long. You see, my new companion Renfield 2, as in Renfield also not Renfield the Second, told me of yet another demon king. And so, my dear Delilah, having dealt the land of purple perhaps my deadliest blow yet, I leave westward once more in the direction of the rainforest biome.